Hello my friend, today I will show you how to add a photo, an image to your website. Firstly, we need to use a new tag that is called img, okay, like this. So img stands for image. Okay, but notice that there is no ending tag, right? The same like when we use the breakline. So there is just no ending tag. And well, you can close the image tag using the slash like here. This is the information that this tag is closed in the same place, but you don't need to, okay? That's not required. It was required if you were using XHTML. So if you meet somebody who does something like that, then don't worry, it will work, right? You can do it, but we do not need to, so don't worry. And now there is important thing, how to add this image. Well, if there is no ending tag, it means that everything connected to image is inside this tag, and we give this additional information using the attribute, right? That is called src. Source, okay? It stands for source. So we put here the source, so we put the value from where we want to get the image. And well, where is our image? First we need to put it into our folder. As you can see, we have got here, for example, the one.jpg, and we can put it here. So just move it to the cats like this, or you could just do it like this. Just move it to our editor and move it here. And as you can see, it's now here, okay? And as you can see, we can open it, we can look at it, we can see some information about the image here, the size, the width, the height, and how much does it take on our disk, and its name, right? So now when I use the shortcut Ctrl plus space, as you can see, it suggests me that I can add the one.jpg here, okay? And to be honest, that's all. As you can see, we added image to our website. Okay, it's pretty big, but we added it and it works fine. Firstly, let's focus on the name. Do not name your images like this, okay? This is a very bad idea. You should rename it to make sure that the name represents what is on the image. So this image represents the bass guitar, right? And the type of guitar is bass, right? So I think we should just rename it. Right click, rename, or the shortcut F2. And let's call it just bass guitar, or the guitar bass, whatever. And notice that I didn't use the space here, right? I didn't do it like this. So every word you should connect using the dash here, like this, okay? You shouldn't use spaces inside the names. Also, do not name your files like this. So do not use the uppercase, okay? Just small case. And well, that's how you do it, right? You just name it. It's more self-descriptive now. So we change the name, and well, it doesn't change anything here, but it looks better now for not only us, but also for the bots from Google, that when they look at the name, they can, see what is this page about and what this file holds, okay? Maybe bots can analyze images that are frequently used, right? But the image like this, well, it's hard to interpret what exactly is here. It's a bass guitar, there are some kind of candles, right? So it will be hard for him to interpret it, right? But here he can take this bass guitar from here, and he knows that, okay, that's a guitar bass, okay? So this page is probably about guitars, right? So it's a good idea to name your files like this. So we know how to now attach the image. The question is what do we do when, for example, something happens like this? So the image will not load. As you can see, there is something like this here, and we could put here an alternative message. So alt stands for alternative message. So the other message, what should do the computer when there goes something wrong with the source, right? Maybe the server went down, something like that. You should type here what is represented here, okay? So for example, bass guitar. And as you can see, here we have got now information bass guitar. The problem is that this thing took some space, right? Notice that it took so much space. So if you had text here, you would want it to be still here, right? You wouldn't want to destroy how your page looks like. That's why you should always specify the width property, which give the width of your guitar, right? So it's 680, and the height is how much? 1024. And as you can see now, when we make an error here, as you can see, we have got bass guitar here, the description, but there is something that holds the place for our image, okay? So this specifies the width and height, and it's also good for making your website load faster, because it's gonna render, so it's gonna create the content of your website faster when it knows what size are images on your site, okay? So this speed ups your loading of your website. You could change, for example, width to something else, not the size that is here, right, like this, and let's put it like that. As you can see, it works still fine, but it doesn't look good, right? However, if you remove the height, notice that it's gonna be proportionally changed, right? The size is proportionally changed. So it means that when you change the width, the height is gonna go accordingly to the width, right? So that's pretty cool, maybe. You might be thinking you can set also the height and it's gonna change the width so it looks good, right? The problem is that you shouldn't use this. Well, maybe if you use it once, then nothing bad will happen. But if you use it very often, then you are making your website load slower. Why? Because, well, the web browser had to do the job for you, right? It had to change the size of your image, so it takes some time. The next thing is that notice that this image takes about half of the megabyte, right? 462 kilobytes. If you had changed the size here, right, to, for example, like we did here, the width to 320, right? So it has got the width that is 2 times smaller, okay, like this. Then this image would take only 250 kilobytes, about like this. So it's 2 times smaller, so your website will load faster, okay? So if you have to change the size of the image, do it manually, open it in some kind of editor that edits images, and do it manually, okay? Don't do it through here. You can do it through here, but try to avoid it, okay? It's best to just put the values that are here to speed up your website, to make sure that everything looks okay. And that way your website will be easier to read for robots, for bots from Google, and your website will rank higher. Is that all into the lecture? Well, no. We can insert images faster. Notice that when I open using this lower than sign, the tag, when I open it like this, I need to do manually what? I need to manually access all these attributes. However, when I do it like this, so I do not use this sign here, I just type IMG, and now I click enter. As you can see, it will put something like this here. And I can put the source and use the tab keyword and jump to alternative message like this. So it's a bit faster, right? I do not need to type EMG, then the source, then this, then I just type EMG, bam, bass guitar, bam, bass guitar. It's faster, okay? So you learned that if you want to put using the EMMET feature that is installed inside the Visual Studio Code by default, you just do it this way. This is pretty awesome, right? Also, it works for other tags. So for example, if I wanted to create the meta tag that we're gonna talk about, as you can see, we can, for example, create it with additional attributes, and you do not need to think how to, create how are the attributes even called inside this meta tag. You just do it like this, and something is filled by the editor, which is great because you don't need to remember that. And I really love the features like this. Because remember, you are a person, the creative person that should create things. You shouldn't remember everything by heart. This is not needed nowadays. You need to know how to look for things and you need to know how to use them. That's only that lesson. Thank you very much. And as always, remember, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.